go. I do believe we're alive, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Today's stream topic is about collective intelligence, specifically how we have this idea of what intelligence is, right? And we know that there are some people who might be a little bit smarter than others. But I want to kind of talk about how even Einstein doesn't have the level of intelligence that his own human body had to be able to fold him from a single cell into who eventually became Einstein, right? And then recognizing, realizing deeply, and internalizing the fact that you are a collective intelligence, that you have 100 trillion cells that make up this body that is intelligently working together so that you can have this experience right now. That's like one side of it. And then the other side of it is the fact that we, by showing up in this way, kind of make ourselves, if you want to keep it unbrand, melt ourselves into a collective intelligence, right? If I forget something or do not have the vocabulary to actually say it correctly, you friends can kind of step in and help me to close the gaps. So yeah, thank you friends for collectively intelligizing with me today. I appreciate it. I see Dr. and Shan and Nancy. Blessings to you, dear friends. Thank you for joining me. Ooh, we look at that fit. Yeah. Weirdly enough, even mom and dad was commenting on the fit today. I'm comfortable. This is the way, right? Good morning to you as well, Brother Bear. Let's read something worth saying. Some information from the collective intelligence, after all. Trotting off to make some coffee. I just slurped mine. Probably gonna start taking effect as we're doing the stream. I want to find a new thing worth saying again, one we haven't read. Here it is. I think we might have read this one before, but this one feels like the correct one, especially to synchronize it to today's stream topic. It goes, I have manifested a body in this moment, in this space, to learn and experience from it, right? And that I is the same I believe that we all are, right? That when I say I am melt, I am technically referring to the I am first, and then I'm referring to the small self by saying melt. But the I have manifested a body in this moment, in this space, to learn and experience from it, quite literally contributing to the collective intelligence ceaselessly, right? If you see a little Barbie land on a tree branch, that is contributing to the collective intelligence. Hey, there's Joy Vive as well. Blessings to you, dear friend. It's nice having you here. Duck Dad says, so Ellie is going today to meet two kittens while I work, one named Lucky and the other named Duck. Duck is the chatty, obnoxious one, meant to be. I mean, if it's already called Duck, how could you say no, right? I like chatty cats to moderation, right? Like I was weirdly enough thinking about Ginger today during my yoga, and he's definitely a chatty cat. He'll let you know when he wants something, you know. And I was like thinking to myself, like, does he know what he's doing? I wonder if he thinks he's a dog sometimes as well, because he grew up with the dogs for the most part, and he was never lonely because the dogs, you know, plays with him as well. And then when we got the two new kitties, Shelby and Roxy, he doesn't want any. Like he doesn't want to spend time with them. He doesn't want them getting close to him. He doesn't like them at all. So maybe Ginger thinks he's a dog, but he still meows. For me, the idea of collective intelligence always butts up against that universal law that humans become stupid when in masses. Interestingly enough, that was actually the point of contention I had with my dad, you know, where I was mentioning the intelligence of the masses, and he was against it, you know, believing that the individual intelligence takes 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 the crown essentially, you know. And I don't necessarily disagree with him on that fractal. I do, however, believe that there is no success, there is no progress of the individual intelligence without the collective, right? So I feel like with the AI, that's kind of, you know, change things, change everything as we understand it. That's going to be like our mediator, right? Where the mass, the collective humanity is going to become more intelligent because we're going to have a centralized, you know, kind of like truth-seeking AI that can, when we think about things, actually find out whether or not the things we think is true or not, right? And I think of that as maybe like the antidote to the stupid masses, essentially. So much love. Mojo is here again. Love to you, Mojo. I see Lisa here as well. And of course, Sam. I just read her comment. Blessings to you, friend. Namaste to you too, Lisa. Blessings. Chatty cats are awesome unless it's 3 a.m. Yeah, our cats fortunately don't become chatty at 3 a.m. Ginger is usually only chatty in the kitchen, right? Ginger understands when you open the fridge and you rustle around, that means you now have food in your hand. And then he's like, oh, meow. Like, yeah, remember that time 2 seconds ago when you took food out of the fridge? How about you give that to me now? Meow, meow. And I'm like, no, meow. No, I'm not gonna do that. I keep telling him, and I tell this like literally every single day when he starts meowing at me to give him food. I go, bro, you've said that. You've said that. As soon as you say anything else, right? If you go, Melt, give me food, I'll empty the fridge. I'll take things out of the freezer, cook them for you even. Just say something else, please. Come, please reveal to me that you can speak English. My parents always told me that I was only. My parents always told me it was only teenagers who were stupid in masses. No, I feel like it's like an anonymity thing, right? When there's a lot of people in the same space, it's almost like getting lost in a sea, right? And we know this even, like literally a sea. Like when too many humans stack themselves in the same space, when it becomes like 5 people per square meter or something like that, we take on quite literally fluid dynamics instead of individual personhood, right? And I believe technically even water is intelligent, right? When you slosh it around, when you move the vessel and you stop suddenly, it has the intelligence of momentum and it will beautifully, right, intelligently solve for the exact amount of turbulence so that it can stop its own momentum and come to a standstill again, right? And unfortunately, when it comes to human beings, when there is this force, this momentum pushing us to do something, it's harder, right, to make that come to a stop because of the nature of the ocean vibes. Hey, I see Zano here too. Blessings to you, friend. Melt, I haven't listened yet, but the new Deathlock album is out. They're making Deathlock albums now? I haven't listened to it either. Thank you for letting me know that. Let's see if I can find it on my YouTube Music. Uh, Deathlock. Mm. Mm. This is just Deathlock. No, not that one. Mermaider. Is that the one? No, this is the actual track. I know Mermaider. Give me the band, please, sir. Albums? I wish there was dates next to these things so I could see whether or not they were new. This one is in 2007. Nope. That's definitely not it. Bruh, I'm getting mildly triggered now that I can't find it. Maybe I'm misspelling it. Yeah, I think so. Metalocalypse, Deathclock. This one is more followers. Nah, dude, I can't see. I can't see it. There we go. Hey, there we go. Now I can see it. I'm only seeing one though. I think it might be playing the track. Is it playing the track right now? Like just my internet seems to be tripping itself out. There we go. Yeah, it's called Army of the Doomstar, original motion picture soundtrack. Is this new? It's 31 tracks. That's insane. I'll add it to my playlist. It's apparently a 2023 album, so I'll have to go and give that a mermaider, mermaider, mermaider. What was my favorite one? Come on, melody. Mm, take the land that won't be taken. Come on. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna get back and be present with you, friends. For me, I think I read one. My parent. Morning to you again, Mojo. I feel smart already. You are smart, right? I'm not biased at all, but you're totally your IQ goes up at least 44 points when you join the Meltmore space. That's how it works. That's fair. It's year one. It is always year one. What year is it? I feel like I'm missing some context. Yeah, I got it. Thank you for the duck that. That is a fair request, and I promise I will not judge any person only as a teenager. You will be constantly reminded that some of my generation judges people by their race, their beliefs, or their color, or their skin. And that is no more right than saying all teenagers are drunken dope addicts or glue sniffers. Yeah, exactly. That's why I had to kind of like push against that as well, because even though I understand, right, like teenagers are more perceptible, more vulnerable is probably the correct word to social influence, right? If you made yourself a group of friends and you like your group of friends and your group of friends decide to do something that might be less than intelligent, you would be more likely to participate in that unintelligent behavior, but not because you're a teenager, just simply because you're new to the experience of social interaction, right? So I get where the stereotype comes from. I do understand, but I don't agree necessarily, right? Because if you have a good group of friends, right? If you have intelligent teenagers who choose to do intelligent things, you are going to be socially influenced to do intelligent things as well, right? So it's not a matter of teenagers being unintelligent. It's just a matter of teenagers being bored, probably, right? Not having anything better to do. New Deathlock, yes, please. That is here too. Sending you lovin's. Dan, did you have your interview to let us know? The album is for the movie coming out. Oh, there's a movie coming out. Yay. I want more Deathlock. Well, technically Metalocalypse. Yes, please. Makes sense to me. Dan, did you have your interview? The album, the movie. Good morning, Dan. Mermaider. Duck Dead also rocking out. Well, I found the album. I'm going to send it to you in the messages on Discord. Thank you for the bear. I appreciate your attempt to connect me with that as well. I did. Thanks for asking. Oh my goodness. Did it go well? Did it feel good? I'm guessing, if anything, just having that pressure again, being able to put yourself out there and experience that fractal might have been worth it. It went all right, says Dan. There are other candidates with more direct experience than I have, but I made a good impression on the HR guy, and he wanted to see my tests. I was reading texts for a second there. He wants to see my tests, so I'm grinding some out right now. Love is true, bro. Thank you for showing up for that fractal again. Dan, don't forget you are unnervingly handsome. That sounds promising. Thanks, Doctor. Take it, dude. Appreciate the love that's being sent your way. Collective intelligence, right? I'm thinking about it from the perspective of Dan's fractal right now as well, where he paid for a course of someone who spent a bunch of time collecting the intelligence of how to code. And instead of grinding, alone, trying to learn these skills, he showed up to be a part of a collective intelligence. And because he showed up to be a part of that collective intelligence, he extracted some of that value, some of that wisdom, and now has it as well, right? And now, because Dan is here with us, he is technically contributing to the collective intelligence of this whole space. We're proud of you, bro. Thank you for growing those skills. You aren't doing any free work for this dude, are you, Dan? No, it's probably not free work. They usually just have like problem sheets. Sometimes those problems aren't even the ones you'll end up, trying to solve in your actual workplace, but it's like an efficiency test, or is it efficiency? Efficacy? Capability? See if you can do things, right? Can you do thing? Yeah, I can do thing. They're like, okay, good. He's at least smart enough to do thing. I can be charming when I want to be. Probably won't get this one, but they're growing. So I think it could be a good contact. Blessings. Interviewing is a skill, so it's good to practice. Agreed. Right. I feel like it's one of those skills that are maybe the most uncomfortable to learn because it's like the experience of rejection, right? You're like that's technically the skill you're learning or the thing you're fighting. And gaining collective intelligence on how many times you can be rejected can be a little bit more painful than any other collective intelligence, right? Because if you keep going to job interviews and you keep not getting the job, you can either see it as a challenge, be like, you know what, I'm gonna get a job anyway, or you can see it uh, as a self-affirming unworthiness fractal, right? Of like, oh, I'm not someone who can get a job, right? Not me, not everybody else can get jobs, but not this person, right? So be wary, be mindful. I know you know this already. You're not giving up, bro. I'm proud of you. Happy your interview went well. Still wish you the best of luck, friend. This is the way. No, no, Sam. I'm writing a test suite for my own app and just showing them the work that I did. It's not for their company. Bless. They're just looking for an example of my work since I don't have a professional automation experience yet. Exactly. I ask these questions because sometimes when HR tests candidates, it's to see how much BS they can get away with. I wouldn't be surprised, right? Like I don't know if I have a personal fractal to reference with something like that, but I can definitely imagine it happening. It's like, oh, you want job? How about you worky on this to see if you can job? And then they take your worky and they implement it, and they're like, nice. Now we don't have to hire someone to do this job or whatever. Man, I wonder how much more are we going to know as human beings, right? Like things are speeding up right now. Like the amount of stuff, like the amount of hype that's on the internet right now around this whole alien topic. I saw this hot take by someone yesterday talking about how people just do not care whether or not there are aliens. But then she mentioned that the thing we ought to care about is the fact that if all of these claims are true, that means our governments have had access to alien tech this whole time. And you're like, oh, Melt, I don't care about alien tech. That also means we had access to free energy this whole time, right? That's the real fractal. That we might have had the capacity. And I mean, if you think about Nikola Tesla, right? He lived like 100 years ago. That was his whole dream for the world, to make sure that everybody has free energy. And the powers that be literally buried him, as deep as they could. And because he made death rays, like he was actually trying to sell the military death rays as well, to be completely honest, right? Nikola Tesla had some demons in his closet. All of his information, all of his patents were classified because they could have been potentially used for military purposes. Again, right? Loss, deep, saddening loss to our collective intelligence. What would we know, and how far would we be if we could keep that information that he already created? One, and then two, within collective intelligence, that means the aliens are technically a part of that collective intelligence as well, right? And if we can harness that level of intelligence, I talked to you friends about this for the show idea I have, Longing for Humanity, how when we completely integrate with other entities, right? If we have just like AI technically as alone, right? The horizon of what we think of as the future, or the horizon as what we think of as our present, and the technology that comes along with that present and that future is suddenly going to be multifaceted, right? Let's say, for example, there is us and then eight other. Let's do an extra one. There is us and then eight other alien species, right? Just in our closest vicinity, right? And each of us has like a progress curve, right? Like maybe the species starts existing, agriculture, technology starts to be developed, the ability to harness energy, and then that future that comes, right? Each of them might be on a different fractal, a different point in their own evolutionary process, a different point in their collective intelligence. And as soon as we integrate, that collective intelligence instantly broadens to the level of almost the inability to conceive of it, right? And I've shared this take with you friends that I in part believe that the reason we have the technology we have right now might be because of alien technology, right? And then to attach to that fractal, if we didn't have this technology, we might be unable to communicate with them eventually, right? Like there might be an incentive for us to get brain computer interfaces so that we might be able to talk to the entities that are so far, so like maybe they've already evolved to that level, right? You can, and if you don't want to think about BCIs, you can just think about like telekinesis, right? Where you can, through your mind, communicate to another being inside their mind. And technically, we can do that with technology. Again, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, right? I'm so hyped. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to see how our collective intelligence continues to evolve. And I get to do it with friends. That's the best part, right? If as these things come out, we'll be able to talk about it on stream and see our, collective fractals as well. Mm, 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 Yeah, corporate America, straight dude, Sam. And I know, but I ain't no fool. Love is true. I'm here for the free reality checks, y'all. I'm here for the reality checks and the cash checks. Love him. It's from North Georgia mountains. Blessings to you. I'm happy to know that you're in the mountains again, Kristen. You have mentioned that you've been missing them. Take it all up, absorb, participate in the collective intelligence of the mountains as well. I want a death ray, Daddy. I also actually want a death ray. Just for the sake of having one. I don't want to death someone with my rays, no. But I would like to have a death ray. I'll probably instantly get FBI open up or whatever. But imagine just having casually a death ray. I do want an arm cannon as well, to be completely honest, right? We'll see. We'll see how technology evolves. Maybe I will have an arm cannon one day. Hopefully, I'll never have to use it. But if I had to, I have arm cannon. It's like, does that dude have a cannon in his arm? Yeah. What does it shoot? Surely you cannot load a bunch of bullets in there. It chooses energy pulses. Maybe a lasers. I'm a firearm laser. I'm gonna 100%. If I have an arm laser cannon, I'm gonna say I'm a firearm laser. That's gonna be the trigger. No pulling a trigger. I'm a firearm laser. That sounds like the most comical and ridiculous version of it I could have. The monkey paw grants you your wish. Dr. Evil is now your father. Kristen, did you put your husband in a sack and hold him hostage to make him take you back home? Maybe not. Maybe, they both just love one another enough to actually go and experience those fractals. I just love hearing your perspective on the future, Melt. Love is true. Thank you for sharing your heart and mind with us daily. Thank you for sharing you with me. Thank you for doing the exact same thing, friend. A collective intelligence, right? Like I could just be like a crazy person speaking into the air, and it wouldn't be as meaningful, right? The collective intelligence wouldn't benefit quite as much if you weren't here right now. So thank you, Lisa, for blessing me with your presence as well. Why not learn how to communicate with all the entities already on the planet? There's a lot. We're gonna definitely do that, right? The first thing is probably going to be speaking to our dolphins, our whales, our killer whales, because they have like some faults. They have deep faults in their brains. So they have clearly intelligence, right? And they do speak. Did you know that dolphins have dialects? Absorb? What does that mean? In other words, they have languages. One, they do. They do speak. Two, depending on where they find themselves in the ocean, they'll speak differently. And three, if you have like a dolphin from one side of the Pacific communicate to the other one, they might not understand one another because of how different their dialects are, right? So that alone, and we've been able to detect that. If we can detect the fact that they have dialects, eventually we'll potentially be able to communicate with them as well. That's gonna be pretty hype, right? Imagine a dolphin giving a TED talk. What would it say? Oh goodness, I don't. A part of me doesn't want to hear because it's gonna say some whack stuff, right? It's gonna be like, "Hey humans, you asshole." It's like, no, no, dolphin, please spare us, spare us your judgment, please, dolphin. It's gonna be like, no, dude, you be fucking up, man. Come on, oh, get your shit in order. I thought you were intelligent. The dolphin says to us. All of us collectively feel bad about our own nonsense. Hype, hype. Heck yeah, I did. My arm cannon will shoot Lovins. That might be better, right? Technically, if I have arm cannon, I can make it shoot Lovins too, right? Maybe like just like deep euphoria. Somebody runs up to me with a knife and I fire my laser at him with deep euphoria, and he's just like, oh, oh, this knife is so beautiful. You are beautiful, friend. Wow, this world is wonderful. I'm like, yeah, oh, get euphoria. Now leave me alone. Can I have some more? Fire my laser arm again, and then peace out, right? Maybe I hopefully I can instant transmission as well. If I have arm cannons, I want to instant transmission. You know, just be like, clip out, clip, clip back in somewhere else. There's intelligence, and then there's spiritual intelligence, not necessarily related. I agree, Mojo. I do agree. Weirdly enough, spiritual intelligence is something that tends to be, I don't know if fleeting is the right word, right? It like ebbs and flows into levels of accessibility, right? And a way to kind of like make this a little bit more tangible is to think about the collective intelligence that you have gained, right? When it comes to your spiritual journey. Like for instance, you know that certain things make you feel more spiritually in tune. And then as life continues and challenges arise and circumstances take you away from your spiritual journey, you forget, you lose all of that progress you think you've made, right? And then you have to consciously evolve back into actually using those skills that you already know you have. And it's a back and forth over and over again. This is weird. I just showed the original Mega Man game 2 with an arm cannon. I just showed the original Mega Man game 2 with arm cannon. Showed it to your daughter, I'm guessing? Yeah. Seems you're in my brain, Duck Dad. Arm cannoning, oh. Shad music or fish. You know, you just know the dolphin TED Talk would be about fish. Would it be about fish? I mean, they have interesting hunting methods. There's like certain dolphins that like chase fish until they embank. Is that the right way to say it? Essentially, they have like a river, and then they will like form a formation, and then they'll chase those fish until they fall onto the riverbank, and then they'll like shimmy themselves up the riverbank and eat the fish with their side faces. They do that so much that the one side of their face, the teeth that they have on that side of their face, gets like worn down from the sand that they end up biting when they catch the fish that way as well. So maybe there would be. Maybe like a dolphin would tell us about all of the creative ways that dolphins hunt for fish. I think that might be a fly just tried to enter my eyeball. No, friend. That's not how it works. I would be down to listen to a TED Talk about all of the creative ways that dolphins catch fish. Kristen Music! I do want to shoot fishes out of a cannon. That sounds messy. Oh man, it sounds like stink cannon, right? It's like, get fished. Suddenly you smell like fish for the rest of the week. Not necessarily related. Love is true. Yeah. Weirdly enough, even though we're talking about collective intelligence, it's almost like I'm grasping at straws to get more of it. Right, close my eyes and feel. When I closed my eyes, I found myself in a cave, and then as I was going deeper into the cave, there was like a spiral staircase going down deeper and deeper. And at the bottom of that staircase was a massive hourglass, real big, right? Like the size of my body, essentially. And the sand at the bottom of it was glowing. What does that mean? What does that mean, collective intelligence? Our time is up? No, no. Maybe it's just time to flip the hourglass back over again. See the new side. Oh, I just remembered. I actually had a stream topic, a different stream topic for today's stream, but I ended up forgetting it. And it was something about this is not the end, it's the beginning. So it was like me thinking about a potential video idea that I could do in the future. You know those, like I should give you more context. I kind of like think about me coming and sitting down in this space sometimes, like the crazy person that stands on the side of the street and just like speaks. Right? Like there's like a level of me doing this and that fractal. Like they're kind of mildly related. And then I was thinking to myself, that could technically be a funny video idea where instead of going, the end is nigh, the end is nigh, I do the opposite of being like, the beginning is nigh, the beginning is beginning. We're beginning again. Right? And I think that might be funny. Maybe people would be, mildly scared as well. Like, what do they mean? Haven't we been busy with this the whole time? But I do believe that there is a new beginning coming for all of us. Right? Hyper-intelligent AI, the singularity, quantum computing, biological manipulation of our human bodies. What else? Conscious evolution is the one that we do here, right? Because conscious evolution doesn't require you to spend any money, doesn't require you to be hyper intelligent, right? You don't have to be Einstein to consciously evolve. You just have to pay attention and be willing to feel, be willing to learn from your own experiences, and then to be willing to grow. And that's free, right? So that's what we do here. Nice job on the blender, Joy. I think I missed a few fractals. I just brought a blender, fam. Nice. Good morning to you, Heather. It's nice having you here as well. Thank you for all of your comments on the short videos. I appreciate it more than I can say. I'll reply to you soon enough. Shan, I worked for someone who told her and her friends would toss smelt into people's cars. I think smelt is a fish. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Smelt is the way we say melt in Afrikaans. We add an S to it. Smelt. Ek gaan die sjokolade smelt en oor my koek gooi. I'm going to melt the chocolate and pour it over the cake. Melt, I think the same too sometimes. The crazy person on the street. I'm okay with it, right? Like that archetype has been present, It makes me think about Life of Brian, where there's a bunch of dudes doing the same thing. I suspect life, like a game of Monopoly, that shiz never ends. Yeah, it's circular, fortunately. Smelt? I don't know that, but it does sound good. When are we getting the jetpacks? Mojo, I'm also waiting for jetpacks. Technically, we already have jetpacks. We do. We do have jetpacks right now. They're not jetpacks, because jetpacks, in my mind, at least usually, were like something you can strap to your back, and that's all it needed to be. But we figured out that that's not actually the best way to build a jetpack. Now jetpacks have like arm thrusters as well. Technically, the jetpack is still thrusting you upwards, but you can like direct yourself with the arm jetpacks. I just think they're very expensive right now. Hey Google, can you purchase those jetpacks that you have like arm thrusters with? Frosted with. Man, it's giving me like games. It's like, oh yeah, I'll buy games in this. Buy jetpacks in this game. Yeah, personal jetpack. Let's see if this is one. Oh, so yeah, that's one. That jetpack I was just talking about, the one with the arm units, they cost 447, of course, thousand US dollars. So you can have jetpack. You can, but you need 447,000 US dollars. So I'm gonna have to wait on that jetpack for a little bit. There's another one that's $150,000, which is technically back-mounted jetpack. It has two massive thrusters on the back. Let me show you. All right, that's the $150,000 one, and that's the arm-mounted one. There's the price, $447,000. That's a lot of thousands of dollars, yo. Goodness. Maybe one day. All right. Suddenly, that's what we're saving money for. I want to buy myself a jetpack. It's like, why, Mel? Why do you need a jetpack? Because I want jetpack. Jetpack too. I don't really want a jetpack. Only for the fact that if you're jetpacking, that means there's a small fleshy body that's now suddenly traveling at exorbitant speeds in the air, right? And I'm not too bad, or I don't mind too much flying at exorbitant speeds in the air. It's the not flying anymore and still traveling at the same speed because of the conservation of momentum, and then, yeah, turning myself into mincemeat on the floor. I would rather have a EUC for now, right? That is technically still like flying, but on a wheel. I get to stay land bound. To be honest, I have been thinking about having a witch's broom. I want a witch's broom, but I don't know if that technology is available to us right now. Oh, no, no, no. Just smell of reminding ores in old school RuneScape. Smelting ores. The Life of Brian, Hang on the Cross singing, Look on the Bright Side of Life. Of course, Monty Python forever made a lot of English seem like Monty Python to me. Monty Python is a classic. Old school jokes. I don't fish. I don't eat fish, so unsure. Thanks for clarifying. Love is true. Why don't you get with your smart brothers and build your own jetpack like the kid in Tomorrowland, Mel? Because I'm not stupid, right? Like you can be very intelligent. Huh? I don't want to misuse them. Just want to use them, right? Applied intelligence, not misuse intelligence. Yeah, my mom says like I'm just as intelligent to be able to build stuff like that. But it's again like technically in theory the technology is available to build things like that. But it's not foolproof. Nothing is foolproof, right? Like if one of your thrusters die, so do you. You know, and that's where I draw the line. It's like, yeah, it would be great to just go "Meow," and then not being able to. That's where I, draw the line. I feel like an EUC, an electric unicycle, is like the closest step that I would take into moving my body fast as a stationary unit, right? Like moving faster than 100 kilometers per hour, I want something around me, right? Like want some box. That's a little bit too yikes. Meant English shows. I love English humor. To be honest, I have been thinking about having a witch's broom. What did you want a witch's broom? Right? I probably shouldn't say this, but I've been playing Hogwarts. Are you curious about what house I'm in? What house do you think I'm in? Right? If I went to Hogwarts, what house do you think I would be put in? Right? I decided to go with the house they assigned to me because of my answers. I'm happy. I'm happy to be in the house I'm in right now, actually. So and yeah, in that game you can fly a broom. And bro, believe you me, I want one. I want one so bad. I would do anything to have a witch's broom right now. Technically a wizard's broom, right? So money is tight. I'm going to trade in my nice car for a lesser nice truck to put some cash in our pockets. I joked with my friend about flying out to buy one in Cali and road trip back. We only see each other a few times a year, but he was so into it and was like, I would love to have an adventure with you, even though it won't happen. It feels so good that he was willing and happy. Bless, bro. I feel like that's perfect. The way I think of it, the more expensive your car is, especially if it doesn't, serve any function, like if it's not more reliable or anything, it like increases your insurance costs as well. I'm all for driving a car that works for as long as possible. Like I saw a post yesterday about someone who was driving like a 2004 Honda something something. I can't remember the rest of the complexities, the information, and his neighbors attacked him and told him he's supposed to buy himself a more expensive car because he's reducing the property value or whatever. And I was just like thinking to myself, like how shallow are people that they think a car is something that should be forced upon someone. oh no, my property values. Oh, you know, the day that housing turned into a commodity to generate more wealth is probably like one of the biggest atrocities that we did to humanity because they just get more expensive, right? The fact that you friends in America are like paying $2,000 a month for a bachelor apartment, it's not okay. It's straight up not okay. I prefer reading British authors because I find their humor so fun. And I read with a British voice in my head. That's perfect. Shan, I just watch so much Sorcerer. I think in British sometimes. Soccer, I think in British sometimes. I was clearly my mind is somewhere else. If you fly to Washington, I think you won't pay taxes. There we go. Aren't you playing Hogwarts game too? Yeah, I think she is. That's why I was saying it. Yes, Hogwarts. That's great. Nancy, it's a road trip cost. That would be dollar signs. Fun stuff. But usually when you buy a car, you pay taxes in the zip code. It's going home too. Nice. I'm replaying it right now. Even better. It's my first playthrough. Nancy. It's a road. I can get rid of one. Okay, so you would have to stay in Washington. My first round, I was Gryffindor. Now this time in Slytherin. I went straight Slytherin. I probably would be in Slytherin if I went to the real Hogwarts as well, right? Because I don't like following rules. And in Slytherin, we don't follow rules. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is right up my alley. I don't follow the rules. Let's not follow rules together, my Slytherin homies. Me and Sebastian are best homies. I'm like that Sebastian up. I mean, technically, he's one of the coolest characters. You know, like he could have sold me out, decided not to. Love Sebastian. If you ever get an electric unicycle, I would travel just to just to toss a stick in your path. I feel it's needed. I'm 100% gonna get a unicycle, bro, and that's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. But why would you want to do that, right? You're like, oh, if you buy yourself your new car, I'm gonna travel to America and then roll a dumpster in front of you while you're speeding down the first lane. Like, why do that, right? Like, what's the point of doing that? Melt, I read it. It's been super hot in Washington, but at least not humid. At least the humidity is usually what gets you. Melt, what are your secret police called in South Africa? As you know, ours is CAA and FBI. I don't think we have. I think it's something called like the Bobcats or something like that. Hey Google, what is South Africa's secret police called? I don't understand. Try searching again. Oh wow, that's very creative. South African Secret Service. So SASS was the previous name. Currently, it is now known as the Foreign Branch of State Security Agency. So FBSSA, FBSSA. It's not that bad, I guess. Yeah. Secret Services. Thank you, friends, for keeping my country safe, I guess. Sorry, meant duck, not melt. Oh, melt. Duck. I read it super hot. I knew it. I didn't want to offend by guessing you chose Slytherin. I wouldn't be offended. I am 100% Slytherin bound. Right? When it's like, what do you identify with? And I'm like, motivation. And it's like, oh, you want power. I'm like, you don't know me, silly hat. I got a fancy name for your secret popo. Yeah, we do at least. I think they make Slytherin gameplay timeline so much juicier. I think so as well, at least for what I've experienced. Right? I believe I'll be able to learn Avada Kedavra, from Sebastian or something. I want to be able to Avada Kedavra some assholes. Like, oh, hello, poacher. Like, I just straight up go and murder people. Like, that game has no chill whatsoever. You just go out, and these dudes, are like having a conversation amongst themselves. They're not actively poaching, but I'm like, yeah, these dudes are poachers. Kills them, straight up slays them, burns them to a crisp. And like some of the lines that my character says, like straight up concerning. It's like, I'm so kind, right? I've never stolen from one of the other kids. I don't ask for cash, excessive cash, when I'm doing missions. I'm like the kindest Slytherin ever. And then in the outside world, I'm just like slaying people, just getting slayed. Their head is dead, Doug. Don't have soldiers with no leader. Yeah, our policing in South Africa is pretty atrocious, in and of itself. There's not much of that. Okay. Are we ready to pull a card? I feel so. Others take the line to their place. Yeah, for me, it's like the reason I want an EUC is because it's like a bicycle that you can fit underneath a desk, right? And it's a bicycle that can help you if you buy a big enough battery model. It can travel like 100 miles, right? Just think about that. 100 miles, traveling vehicle that can fit in the boot of your car, or pretty much any car. That's why I want one. It's a matter of practicality. And the way I think of it in the future is I want like the van that is like my movable home and my long distance traveler. And then if I find myself stationary charging my device, my home, I get on my EUC and I go and travel the area, right? Like that way I get the best of both worlds. I get the ultra mobility and the comfort of long distance travel. It would be cool to be able to speak to snakes. Like I've loved snakes since I was a little kid, you know. Like my parents never taught me to like snakes, but it was something that I intrinsically started, being very drawn to as a child. I remember, and I've shared the story a few times, me, my mom, and my dad went like house shopping. And then on that journey, I found a snake, right? And I got to take that snake home with me. I did free it again, but I got to take that snake home with me. And it was this experience of like deep fascination. And then I couldn't stop thinking about that connection that I made in my world where you go out and look for houses equals find snakes, right? So I would like prompt my parents to go and look for houses again. I ended up never being satisfied with where I lived again because maybe I could get snake. I think it would be cool to be a mercenary. Weirdly enough, I probably shouldn't say stuff like this, but I thought that was what I was supposed to do at one point in my life. I was like, I don't know if mercenary is the right word. Vigilante, technically, is probably the better one. But I decided against it. I decided that there's probably a lot you can do being a vigilante, but it also changes what you can do, right, as a free person. So I decided against it. I think it would be cool. Love is true. Joy, he is not dead, no chance. But I was being tongue in cheek. Did I miss something? Their head is dead, Doug. Can't have soldiers and leaders. Oh, there we go. Hello and morning, Joe Schmo. Blessings to you too. He got blown out of the sky, Doug. I'm choosing pure evil with my character. All the worst options you choose this time around. Let me know how it works out. Apparently, there's no karma system, so you can do that and it doesn't really hurt people. Hey, Maxine, I've been thinking about you, friend. So nice having you. The danger noodle is a symbol for transformation. It's true, right? The self eating snake is also like a big one in my life. Only a matter of time before Putin had him offed. Me? As a mercenary? Beansy, we've missed you. Yes, we have. Love is true. Failed mutineers ain't gonna last. I've missed you so goddamn much. I've been on one hell of a journey since I was last in the stream. You wanna tell us about it, Maxine? We're gonna pull a card soon. Blessings to you. It's nice having you here. The sun is blasting my eyes right now. I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna move to the side so I can be blasted less. Let's do it. Sick. That works to me. I pogo stick my cushions. Words of wisdom, joy. Failed mutineers ain't gonna last. I'm guessing. Joy. No. 30 years, hardened warlord operating in dozens of countries, gets on plane. That's instant death, and he knows that. He wasn't on the plane. They only found a finger. Like, I don't understand what's going on right now. I feel like I missed some context or something. I remember a duck that wants to kill me, by throwing a stick in front of me while I ride my UC one day. But I don't know if there's a connection to that, Fractal. That's the closest I can get to understanding what's happening right now. Words of wisdom. Love is true. Okay. Tackles Melty with bear hugs. Love to you, Maxine. Thank you. Supposedly found a finger. He is a very valuable to Putin because he's a monster. They removed him from power, but he will show up down the line. Pretty well versed in this stuff, believe it or not. I don't pay attention to it at all. Fortunately, right? I don't find it too fascinating, the whole world of murder, essentially. You're gonna tell us to get creative and guess. Okay. No, okay, I'm hoping so. Uncommon Fractal. Today is the day that my father and my uncle celebrate their birthdays. They were born 7 years and 7 days apart. My uncle is 77. He woke me up and said, "Good morning. Let's drink." Love is true. I hope that you enjoy the celebrations, Brother Bear. How interesting. Do you think Elvis and Diggy are kicking in a Cuba? Highly unlikely, I'm guessing. I decided to take the plunge and harvest my last cactus. I had the highest amount of mescaline within, but not a lot of trip reports on it. Like online, I'm guessing. To put it lightly, it was profound. I actually saw sacred geometry blooming in front of my eyes, and literally cactus showing up and changing shades of color and rainbows. Sounds so beautiful. Weirdly enough, I now have access to cactus as well. A friend of mine made me some chocolates with it in, and I had some of that, and I was thinking about you. That's where the me thinking about you came from. Whiskey. Wish me luck. Love us too, Joshmo. Stay hydrated, friend. Stay alive. I did. I ran the race just now. There's Jo. She's finished. She did it. We're proud of you, Jovan. How did it go? Was it fun? How did your friends fare? Did they finish it with you? I was literally just thinking about you and your 5K, hoping your run is going good. Blessings. Whoa, a blunt with a glass of whiskey. Melt, have you ever looked into Greenpeace, Mercenaries for Nature? I know about Greenpeace, yeah. They destroy oil fields and stuff like that. Again, interesting approach to that. No fucking way. Yeah, I got blessed. I got blessed. I've been waiting for it since last year, October. He didn't put an address or a number on it, so it's just been laying there at the post office. Gotta go fishing. Love to you, Joshmo. Enjoy, Brother Bear. It was nice having you here. It was muddy. It stormed last night after a hot and humid smell. I ran it in 49 minutes. 7 times 7. Love is true. That's good time, right? 5K with obstacles in 50 minutes, essentially. 49 minutes. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Maybe I would be able to. I haven't tried. I want to try stuff like that as well. Thank you, Jovan, for inspiring me to. How do you pay? How do you pay attention to bricks, but not all the other stuff associated with it? I pay enough attention, right? I think I know who you're talking about. I remember that there was this mutiny, essentially, right, where one of Putin's military warlords, essentially, right, he was hiring a bunch of mercenaries, they were traveling into Africa and basically stealing resources. I know about all of those fractals, but I'm not up to date, right? I'm not actively oh, more. I want to know more. For me, it's more human scum. Yeah, it exists, but I would rather pay attention to the good people in our world, right? At least that's where I'm coming from. Won't challenge you to a foot race, yo. That's awesome time with the obstacles. Woohoo! Love is true. Let's pull a card, shall we? It's cute. Can top last year's shirt, but the metal is a spinner and it's red. Like there's a spinny inside on it, I'm guessing. It's pretty cool, this one. Or maybe it's like one of those spinners. Right on, a spinner. That's so cool. Yeah. So I do understand. I just don't know all of the rest of the fractals that you friends were talking about. Card time. Green, you're right, Maxine. Look at that. Seems you're still very much connected. Infinity symbol at the bottom, infinity symbol at the top, and then that yantra, I think it's called, in the middle. Shri or yantra. I might be butchering it, but I think that's what it's called. Articulated metal. The obstacles were awesome. I killed at the balance beam. Man, like just thinking about it. Like I would like for you to like name all of your obstacles so I can imagine you in those scenarios. But that might be a little bit tedious. No more than a thought away, Melty. You've taught me well. You know. You understand, dear Maxine. Thank you. Today's whole stream topic was about a collective intelligence, right? And you just said something that I believe is completely related to that collective intelligence. No more than a thought away. Green and orange. It is green and orange. The center is orange. Look at that. Like a sunset. Harmony and right action are the core intentions of this card. This card joins two powerful traditions. From the Hindu tantric tradition comes the geometry of the Sri Yantra. I didn't butcher it. It's 9 interlocking triangles that form a powerful meditation symbol that is said to encapsulate the entire universe in a single geometric visualization. From the ancient Huna traditions of Hawaii, Ho'oponopono is viewed as a means to bring harmony and to be in right action with the ancestors, or to make things right with the people with whom you have relationships. Its intent is to correct the wrongs that have occurred in one's life. This card acknowledges your intent to create a life of freedom from guilt, shame, and blame. It asks you to meditate on the people and events in your life and to search for understanding of what you need to know to bring them into harmony and right action. Seek harmony within yourself first, and then open to communicating with others in a manner that will bring greater understanding and harmony to all. You may enjoy offering this sunset prayer. I forgive myself and all beings for any misthought word or action that occurred in this day. I acknowledge that the universe is unlimited potential and all is transpiring in divine order in my life at this time. Love is true. Oh, I guessed, but I was in the past. I forgot. It's okay. It was perfect. Got to go. Had to check in. Loves to you. Ciao. Thank you. We're gonna play kalimba today. The food is ready and it's probably getting cold right now. I appreciate you friends joining me, for sharing this moment with me today. Consciously evolving, participating in the collective intelligence, if you will. I appreciate you friends so much. Look forward to doing it soon. Tomorrow, bet your dollars tomorrow we'll be here again. I love you, friend. Thank you for joining me, for sharing this moment. Until we do it again. Cheers, everybody.